But the Philly Phade is back. And we are going to take a look at the Final Four. And before we do that, 1-800-GAMBLER if you have a gambling problem. Here's the Bleacher Brothers page, and that's the main page there. And you see all the different lines. We have the top stories that we have right now, or the most recent stories. Got the LPGA T-Mobile match play going on right now. Plenty of seats still available, but this was a game where they had 2 rainouts, Tuesday and Wednesday, so they had all different. Probably it's like, I ain't going to that game. So you see all these different stories here. Pirates might pick to win the Central. Started out red hot, 6-1. Then you get into the men's basketball. Seton Hall rallied to stun Indiana State. I had Seton Hall. I thought I was losing that bet. Glad I didn't cash it out if I could. And you see the stories there. Now, I probably and you see the different ads that we have here. There's my section here, horse racing. I write the articles here. I should be writing more race stories as well, but I think I'm going to be writing more stories in the lead up to the Derby and the Oaks. But that's the whole page. But what you want to do, you go to the 3 dots here, and that's not it. Oh, you got to go to Bleacher Bet Sports Betting. You click on that. Now, because North Carolina was a state that did allow sportsbook wagering to begin about a month or 2 ago. The first ads that you will see is related to North Carolina. So if you're in North Carolina, early sign specials with FanDuel. This was with somebody else. I believe that's, you have different ones here in the different promotions. These might all be FanDuel, but, whatever it is, it is. So you do see the North Carolina promos here. You see these different articles here. So you see all these different things. You see all these boosts. Then you get down to the right-hand side here on the bottom portion here. These are your sites that if you click on these ads, it'll send you to a link here. Now I'm going to click this Bet365 one because I can't register for 365 in Pennsylvania. And the reason why I can't do that is because Bet365 is not associated with a casino in Pennsylvania. So let's say I'm in a state where you can allow it. So there are the 10 states that you can use Bet365. And there's all other states. And then because I can't use it in Pennsylvania, I would do that and put in my email, and they would send me emails, let me know. But if you're in one of those other states, let's say you live in New Jersey, you just follow this and go from there. But anything that you do from this one section, better. They're more of a prop wager. But I can't get into that. It's more just based on the phone, but either way, I can't wager on that. Bet Rivers, and also take note of what they have here. Deposit code sports for Bet Rivers when you set your account up and put that initial deposit in. BetMGM, first paid offer up to $1,500 back. If you go into BetMGM, you put that wager in, you put that first thing in, you put the code in, And the great thing with BetMGM, because I opened that up last week or 2 weeks ago for Pennsylvania, the great thing with that is you put that first wager in, you're going to get an alert on your screen. This is your first wager. If you do not win this first wager, you are getting your money back. Of course, my bet won. FanDuel has their promotion. And this is going to, and this changes every once in a while, so always check back with this. Or you can just go to the bottom of the page here, just click on betting. That's the different things. FanDuel, MGM, BetMGM, BetRivers, 365 if you're in one of those 10 states and better. You got to go into the app and see. I think if you Google better states or something like that, you can find out what states that they're open in. So just give you an idea. But we are going to go to DraftKings. And the only reason why that I use DraftKings for this segment is because of the fact that when I do these segments, I do it for uniformity's sake. I don't do it in regards to I don't do it in regards to I don't go from in terms of this, because this is just fictional money that I'm betting. It's just like, oh, 1 unit on North Carolina State or South Carolina, something like that. But, so just give me an idea what I do, because this is the first time I had done it in a while. And I only use DraftKings because I can just show my screen like I am right now. So the women's Final Four is in Cleveland, and I joked around, Caitlin Clark. I could have gone anywhere to Final Four, and they put us in Cleveland. But, just joking around. But anyways, got 2 games here. You got NC State and South Carolina, and you have UConn and Iowa. And UConn and Iowa rightfully gets the late game because Paige Beckers versus Caitlin Clark, which will be a massive matchup. And South Carolina, they're going for an undefeated season. They get NC State. Now, I am going to do an extra wager here as well, but in terms of this, I think North Carolina State's going to keep it close. So what I am going to do here, for the sake of the beginning here, I am going to take NC State plus 11.5. That's at minus 108. And basically what that minus 108 means for those that are wagering. Basically what that means, it's what's called a VIG. And that's like a little extra take that they have on your wager. So let's, and these numbers are usually based on a 100 scale. So minus 108 means if you are wagering, if you bet $108, you will get $100 in return. So let's say you bet $108 on North Carolina State plus 11.5, and let's say South Carolina only wins by 9. In that case, you win $100. You will get $208 back. You get your money back from your wager, and you get that additional $100. So that's what would happen in that case. So I'm taking NC State women plus 11.5. I think South Carolina wins. I just think North Carolina State keeps it close. UConn takes on Iowa, and this is a dream matchup. And Iowa, second straight Final Four, the last call, so to speak, for Caitlin Clark as she goes to Indiana in the WNBA in a couple of weeks. I think the draft is next week even. I haven't talked to SJ in a while, so she's my WNBA person, and she may be somebody that pops up on my shows every once in a while because she has all the knowledge, and I want to diversify the stream even more as well. But Iowa State's a 2.5 point favorite, and I hate to do it to the Iowa fans here, but I get the feeling because Gino Auriemma, who I didn't realize is 70 years old, but then again, he's been at UConn for 35, 40 years, it seems. But it's kind of like Jay Wright when he retired. It's like, wait, he's 60 years old? I mean, because Jay Wright was looking damn good for 60. UConn is a 2.5 point dog here. I think UConn wins this, and it's going to ruin the dream matchup of Iowa and South Carolina. I am taking UConn plus 124 on the money line. Now, for those that are watching this for the first time, even for those that are watching this after the fact, basically what that means is for every $100 that you wager, you get 124 back. So you would get $224. You would get your $100 back, and you would get your an extra 124 there. Now, if you bet NC State and they win outright and you play the money line, you're getting $700 back because it's 100 that you wager plus 600. But don't let these numbers influence you in saying, I must bet $100. You can bet, as you can see here on the screen here, the DraftKings platform allows you to bet as low as 10 cents. And that's another reason why I say bet within your means. If you're comfortable with putting money down, bet what you feel like you can afford. That it's not going to hurt you the rest of the week if your horse doesn't, if your bet does not win. Always be aware of what you have for money. Always be aware of what you need to spend your money for, because you may have 2 or 3 kids and Johnny needs a pair of sneakers or he needs cleats for baseball, and little Olivia needs braces, or make sure that you have money set aside for that and your bills. It's okay that you bet $10 instead of $100. It's okay. It's okay to bet $5. The one thing I will tell you is, and Jason Beam on his podcast, and I'm so far behind on all my podcasts that, one show, Jason Beam was got a mention from somebody on Twitter, and he said, hey, I had that horse at 9-1. Just don't laugh that it was only a $2 wager. One thing I will say is, as long as you hit, good job. And if you got a bad beat, it sucks. That's how it would feel. Unless you're like my mortal arch enemy, I go, ha ha, you lost, but I don't have many of them left. But it's you can bet $10 and you'll get $12.40 extra back. You'll get $22.40. All that is, when you look at this, is a way that you can it's basically a rate. So that 124, that just tells me if I put 10, I get 12.40. If I put 100, I get 124. I put 1,000, which I'm never going to do, even if I were to hit the Saturday Powerball, then you would get 12.40. It's all about numbers. And on the ticket, if you get a paper ticket, when you go to when you get a paper ticket at the race book or sports book, you will get on a sports book wager the amount that that it will pay out if it hits. Like, let's say, for example, the Yukon wager. Now, everybody has their own base unit amount. I usually wager $25 because I'm not the type of person that's going to bet 15, 20 bets at one time. I may bet 20 in a day, but it's only like, okay, one or two here, one or two here, and the next thing you know, one or two here and one or two here over 12 to 16 hours turns into 20. But I don't usually bet that much anyway. But my base wager, if you were to find me on Picket or you find me on Juice Reel, and maybe we get a partnership with them eventually. But with Yukon, for example, let's say I put that $25 there. That tells me right there underneath that box what my payout's going to be, $56. So I already know what that payout's going to be. So if I don't want, I'm like, let's say, but I don't want to bet 25. I want to bet 10. Okay, 22.40, like I was mentioning. It's the money I wager plus what $10 for that rate for $100 is. And the great thing is what you can do as well. Let's say you just say, F it. I want to do a money line. $10 will pay $43.14 because it's probably 33.14. If you bet 100, $431.40. 4,300, because it's all based on percentages and rates and stuff like that. So you see how it goes up there. Don't want to, let me clear that out, because if I had been signed in there, it'd be like, we can't take this wager. You don't have $430 million in your account. If I did have $430 million in my account, I probably would have it in my bank account and not in my DraftKings account, for example. So my women's picks are NC State plus 11.5 at minus 108, Yukon women money line plus 124. And since it's also men's Final Four, they are in Phoenix or Glendale for the men's Final Four, and got some interesting matchups here. UConn's been destroying everybody it sees. It's the Ivan Drago of men's basketball when it comes to the tournament. What they see, they destroy. And then you have North Carolina State, who's trying to do what UConn did back in 2005, I think it is. You got that, and you have NC State and Purdue. Zach Edey with Purdue. Purdue's trying to do what Virginia did, which was the year after they lost as a 1 seed to a 16, they're trying to win a national championship like Virginia did. They're taking on NC State, who is trying to do what UConn did in 2005, where they won 5 games in 5 days in their conference to get the automatic bid, and then they ran the table and won the tourney. So we do have NC State and Purdue, Alabama, and UConn. I personally think that the forward that would be playing against Zach Edey, and I need to pull up the name only because I want to save the name of the person here, just because I want to give you correct information here. Gasp. Oh, wrong one. That was women. Men, home. Scores. We'll do it this way. NC State. DJ Burns. If he's on Zach Edey, especially when they're on the offensive end, I am thinking, and I may be totally wrong, and it won't be the first, and it won't be the last time, today, even. I would not be surprised because of the fact that you don't have, I'm trying to get the right tab there. There we go. I would not be surprised if DJ wears down Zach Edey a little bit. And for that, even though I don't think an 11 seed has ever made it to an NCAA final, I'm going NC State money line here. I'll take them at plus 340 over Purdue. I think NC State gets one game away from duplicating what UConn did back in 2005, I believe it is. They won 5 games to get in. I had them losing the first round because I thought, well, they are going to be worn out, but they caught their second win, and they're now playing for the right to play Monday night for a championship. Now, Alabama takes on UConn. I'm tempted to just go Alabama money line, but I'm not. So I'm going to click on that again. And that's another great thing with these things is you can actually go here and click on, it's like, no, I don't want that. You can clear that out as long as you're not logged in and you don't put in your amount you put in. I think Alabama is going to give UConn some trouble. And I think UConn wins this, but Alabama will keep it close. So I'm going to take Alabama plus 11.5. And that is also at minus 108. So I think UConn's going to have 2 chances at a championship, but I think Alabama is going to keep it close, and they're going to prevent UConn from going 11 games in a row with double-digit wins. I think Alabama is going to keep it close. So my 4 picks here, my 4 singles, and you see it right here on the right-hand side of the screen here. NC State women plus 11.5 minus 108, UConn plus 124, NC State men money line plus 340, and Alabama plus 11.5 minus 108. And if you're crazy enough and you say, you know what? When I look at Joe's history here with his live bets and stuff like that, he's been winning lately. Let me play this 4-pick parlay, 3-5-5-5. I'm not playing it. I'm not saying you do it. You're on your own. If I bet $25, I would get $913 back. So yeah. And there's a whole formula with everything. So it's, how they do it, I don't know. I don't care, but you get the idea. So those are my 4 singles. So with that being said, and those 4 singles are done, I'm going to clear my screen because I'm going to make one more pick in the Friday Fade. And also, whether you use DraftKings, FanDuel, BetMGM, BetRivers, Bet360, or something that we don't promote on here on the page here for different promotions, if you're looking to open a new account, always check the promotions here. That plus 35.55. If you see this 44% profit boost, boom, that would jump up to about almost 5,000 plus 5,000 odds for a 4-team parlay. Then they're promoting the DK Network, which is online, and on smart TVs. I have it on my phone. I watch the Dan Le Batard show in the mornings. So you have those things going on here. So always check that, because if you go in the promos, you can get some things that are dedicated to specifically your account, or you can just go to whatever. So. And this is the last parlay that I'm going to do. And this is one where I may play just for shits and giggles, because if this were to come out, it's going to pay an epic amount of money. And there you see there, NC State women, NC State men on the semifinals. This was plus 33.32 the other day. It's plus 29.80. And let me see here. It does not say anything. I'm just checking this here. So if you have a DraftKings account and you see this promotion, click on it, because I think as long as it's a 2, it looks like you can get away with this as a 2-team parlay. And the one thing is, if you opted in there, I'm not even logged in, so you won't see what's in my account or anything like that. Let's say I go 25, that's $770 for 2 games, and then you put that 44% in? Yeah. Things are going to be screwy next week because, we got the eclipse coming. And, you never know. Strange things happen from time to time. So, if you're sitting there and you're want to put a couple of bucks down, that's what I will do. So for the sake of the Philly Fade, an NC State men's women's 2-team parlay is plus 29.80. I am putting that in as one of my wagers here. So that is one of my 5 selections this week on the Philly Fade. And the Philly Fade will be coming back from time to time as well. So that will be it. And we are going a little long tonight. We are at 2 hours